Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl. I'm a recovery coach here at Cap Recovery. This is our men in training meeting for the day. I'll let you know that Suicide Prevention Month and it's Recovery Month of September. So we're going to be talking about men adopting a new mindset for recovery. And we will be starting off. So it says, recovery involves questioning or identifying, letting go of any false aspects of ourselves, and ultimately accepting addiction. Men can often struggle to recognize and express emotions. Relying on anger and indifference, recovery requires developing both external and external connections within ourselves. Society expectations of masculinity can hinder recovery, so we must evaluate and choose what aligns with our true selves. It is important to challenge society rules and embrace authentic growth from successfully recovery. In the process of recovery, we will spiral through the question, who am I? Many times. Each time we grow closer to knowing who we really are, and we have the opportunity to let go of who we are not. Breaking through the denial about addiction is difficult for anyone. What may seem hardest is accepting that there is something you cannot figure out or control. The acknowledgement that you are an act is the beginning of your opportunity to look at every aspect of what it means to be a man in a culture and to determine what you want to accept and what you want to do reject. Ultimately, you get to choose who you want to be as a man and even who you want to be as a man in recovery. Part of exploring oneself is recognizing what one feels. Men who have problems with alcohol and other drugs often do not know what they are feeling and have limited vocabularies for describing their feelings. Feelings are not mentally. Anger, indifference, and sarcasm often become a catch all for the variety of feelings a man has. Yet these can damage a man's relationship as well as his physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. I like this. This is a good one because um, even for me, that I didn't identify exactly how I felt. Right, I didn't know what I was feeling. It was my thought was like anger. Right, my mind can go to anger and resentment and rejection, and so that fueled my addiction. Right, my emotions and feelings were very emotional and feeling creatures. Right, and that fueled the fire for my addiction. And since I've been in recovery, I actually, get to the exact nature of why I'm feeling the way I do and not acting out of anger, fear, and rejection, right? I can have healthy, excuse me, copenisms, right? And talks about adapting a new mindset, right? My mindset was, um, you know, everybody's out to get me. People are like, bashing me. All these negative thoughts, right? My mindset was distorted. I had a distorted mindset, because the drugs and alcohol really clouded me up, right? I never had a clear mindset. I never had a clear thought. I didn't have a conscience, right? And recovery has taught me is to, you know, have a good mindset and a positive mindset because mine was negative, right? My thoughts about me, my view about myself, about the world, and people around me was very, hatred and limited, right? So this is a great article. I like this. And it goes on to say, who am I? Most of us have been taught to think ourselves in terms of roles and providers, fathers, husbands, relationship partners, employees, teammates, and so on. There is nothing wrong with this. In fact, our connection with others will tell us much about who we are. However, our roles do not tell the whole story about who we are in recovery. It is important to develop our relationships with others, our outer selves, and our relationships with our inner selves, our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs and values. We often are uncomfortable focusing on our relationships to our inner selves. We may have been brought up to consider these things to be unmasculine. We ignore how we feel and how other people in our lives feel. We focus on sports, work, possessions, and tend to define ourselves according to our success in these areas. Um, so it's as for this is a man training me. So as a man, and what I've learned, you know, guys ain't supposed to express their emotions and feelings, right? It's uncomfortable. It's not. It talks about not being masculine. These are things we struggle with from since we be born. The man's supposed to be taking on all responsibilities, and the man's supposed to do this, and he's supposed to do that, and he's not supposed to do this. We have limitations on ourselves. So even for society, we're born in a category. You think about it, this is just me, talking and what my thoughts and my beliefs is. We're put in a category as a man, as a woman, and that goes on through life as well. So we're already limited, right? We're already put over here, and the society already has thoughts and beliefs about us already, even while we're born. And it plays a big part how you're raised. I hear a lot of my friends start to say, my dad was like this, and man ain't supposed to cry. You're supposed to brush it off. We ain't express emotions and feelings. And that's how went through life. And I can't have that experience because I didn't have a father figure in my life. My mom was there and she supported me and she raised me the best she could, right? But it just how the cookie crumbles, right? I had to, learn and defend for myself almost. She did what she could, but to have that father figure in your life is important. And your upbringing is very, very important. And your product or your environment, right? So we'll go on to the next one. Oh. How do I want others to see me? When there is a difference between how we want others to see us and how we see ourselves, we dedicate energy toward creating fronts and avoiding being genuine with most, and not at all other the people in our lives. We forget how to be real, especially if we feel shame about some part of who we are. We usually try to hide it. Then our inside and outside selves become disconnected. All right, so how do I want people to perceive me, right? Um, when I was in active addiction, I was a madman, right? I was not a good person, right? I was robbing, stealing, so I was untrustworthy. I wasn't honest, right? Um, I wasn't nice to be around, right? I was verbally abusive, right? I was acted out, all negative behaviors. My mindset was a triangle of, things that who I was, that was just disease of addiction, right? And how I want people to look at me today, especially in recovery, is like, I'm trustworthy, I'm open and honest, I'm accountable, I'm reliable, I'm a hard worker. These are positive things that recovery has afforded me, and that's all through, having healthy relationships with my family, my friends, my coworkers, people in NA meetings that I attend to, getting a relationship with my higher power. So there's things that we have to do to keep our recovery and how I want people to perceive me. How you can see all over. Somebody's act a certain way but live in a different way. That I pay attention. Just me. I really pay attention who I want to be around and who I don't want to be around, right? And So, and people can perceive you as if you're hanging around somebody doing some dirt, as I say, uh, living clean, acting clean, but living dirty, is people can see it, I can see it, and I really don't want to associate myself with that because, hey, I just don't live like that no more. Um, let's go to the next one. What does it mean to be a man? All right, so we may not have spent a lot of time thinking about our beliefs regarding what it means to be a man. For some of us, life up to this point has not involved any serious reflection about who we are as men. If being sober is our priority, we will benefit from looking at how our ideas and society ideas about masculinity could interfere with our recovery. We learned rules about what it means to be a man from our parents, other family members, teachers, coaches, friends, and so forth. We also learned some other rules about masculinity from books, movies, and television shows. Some of these rules may be very healthy and productive for us, but some of them may impair our ability to fully realize our potential. So, does it mean to be a man? And that's up to you. Like I choose to be my own man today, right? I don't fake the funk, right? I adapt to and I gain information from my friends and my family, uh, my fellow members in Narcotics Anonymous, my workers. Like I take the good, right? I can take some of their assets and adapt it to my life, right? But like ultimately, I have my own beliefs. I have my own morals. I have my own values, right? Sometimes it can be negative, right? But I developed myself, right? We talk about recovery like being chameleon, right? Wanting, being what you want me to be, and I'm being somebody that I'm not to get what I want. We're very chameleon-like, and but I use that for good today, right? I can hop in any conversation or any kind of group of people and be talkative. I can bring something to the table today. I can bring some positivity or some information, or I can be, just a good human being, or just to listen. Right? I can just be visible and available today, right? And that's what it means being a man. Like taking accountability, taking responsibility for my actions today, and apologizing for them, and not feeling. I mean, you feel guilt and shame, but not live there, right? Live in self pity. Oh, woe is me. It's you. I take responsibility for my actions. Um, which what I did in active addiction, I didn't. I just was in denial. I disrespected everybody, and I caused a lot of chaos and damage. So let's go to the next one. Societal man rules. This is certainly not a comprehensive list, and we could all dig into making our own. But here's our traditional examples of so-called man rules. Let's see what this says, right? Be strong and independent. Think of who the role models are, such as Rambo, Gladiator, Terminator, Marvel Man, the Lone Ranger. Okay, that's going way back. Most male roles models in the media kick butt and takes names strong and silent. Be strong and independent. It's a great, we all, for any individual, man or woman, we have to be strong, right? Because the world can be tough, right? But we can be strong, and when push comes to shove, we can be independent and provide for ourselves. That's being a productive, member of society. Um, Next one, be the leader, provider, which can also imply don't ask for help, me take care of the family, We don't ask for help. We do the helping. God forbid we ask for any directions. And if we had them, we wouldn't read them anyway. The manly thing to do is just figure it out without help. See, that's not too good, right? We have to ask for help. And that's where pride and ego comes at, right? Listen, sometimes I don't like the directions. I don't really want to follow them. I just want to, try to take care of myself. But usually sometimes there's a piece missing or I don't know where this goes. So it's like I have this guideline, to, fix whatever I'm doing, right? And that's what like recovery's about. And that's what life's about. Like I have this information and everything's available to me and to you, but I don't want to abide. I don't want to, go by the rules or I don't want to follow direction, right? And usually that's self-will and usually leads me into some sticky situations. So you want to be a leader and a provider, right? But you have to know when to ask for help, right? I asked for help. I had to. I can't go through life without asking help. I'd be stupid not to. Um, let's see. If you fail, you just are not trying hard enough. It is the American way to sacrifice your body in order to get through that wall. If you can figure it out, work more hours or hit it with more strength, muscle up that ego, and let's run faster into the brick wall. The wall will fall through sheer willpower. So yeah, we're talking about willpower, right? And self will. It says if you fail, you just are not trying hard enough. No, we all fail. We all have good days. We all have bad days. We all fail, and sometimes me failing, it brings better things, right? It doesn't mean because I failed that I can't go back and do it again, whatever I'm doing, right? That's just called practice, right? That's all. It's just called, let's try something different. Or let me study harder. It's just you don't have to stay stuck and like I failed, so I'm not going. Here's another thing: I failed, I'm not going to do it again. I already tried it once, I failed, and I'm not going to do it again. That's just a negative mindset, you know. So let's go to the next one. Be tough. Real men don't cry. You want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about. Rub some dirt on it. We're taught early on in life to avoid showing pain. And like I said, some people are growing up that way, because we have to look at it as, maybe your dad's dad, your grandpa, treat your dad that way. Make him grow up that way, so he passed it on to you. And that happens a lot. And that can play a big part in why. Well, I won't say big part. You can't place the blame game, right? It's just what it is. But like that can play a part in sometimes why we ended up in some sticky situations, right? I don't want to place blame on that, but that can play a part, right? And a lot of the people are growing up that way, and like the old school back in the day, that's how it was. Don't show emotions. Well, don't show most emotions. Certainly don't show emotions that convey weakness and being like a girl. Bite that bottom lip, push that feeling down, and be tough little soldier. So don't show emotion, right? You want to not let people in to let you know how I'm really feeling, right? We tough it out. And usually that happens. This happens when we don't let our emotions out. We don't talk about it, and we keep it in. And usually, it can explode at any given moment. So we don't provide that outlet to express our emotions and feelings, right? We keep it in, then it comes out one way or another, right? And that's usually not too good. We have to let it out. We have to talk to somebody. We have to find hobbies. We have to find things that we can do healthy things we can do to express our emotions and feelings. Um, and the last one is be loyal, committed, and dependable. So let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Many of our main rules can be maintained and carried forward as successful pieces of recovery. Perhaps we keep these. Be loyal, right? Be committed and dependable. I want that, right? And a lot of these things, I hit key points on it. I'm a loyal person, right? I can be honest. Sometimes I can be brutally honest, right? Um, but I can be committed. I follow through. If I make plans today, I commit and follow through with that. Um, and be dependable. People can depend on me to pick up the phone. People can depend on me to show up for work. People can depend on me to be a good boyfriend, a good son, a good grandson. So these are all gifts of recovery that money can't buy. Um, we'll go on. Probably have recognized that some of our traditional values and ideas about being a man are consistent with being in recovery, and some of them can hinder or complicate our recovery. We may realize that in order to be in recovery, we are being asked to do something that conflicts with our ideas about what it means to be manly. So, for me, right, to be in recovery, um, there's things that are asked of me, right? Um, you know, I have to be respectful, right? I have to be well behaved, right? I have to show up for work. I have to be like, there's a lot of things we all tapped on it, right? We all addressed it, right? There's things that if we want to be in recovery, we're asked stuff, right? And we have to become our own man, right? It doesn't mean because I was growing up this way that I have to actually be that way. I have to tough it out and not express how I really feel. And that's not becoming your own person. How can I feel this way, right, and not express it, right, or act that way, right? It's just it doesn't fit, right? So if I try to become my own person, right? And that's what I've learned in recovery to become my own man, to, be productive, be treat people with respect because I want to be treated with respect, treat them how I want to be treated, right? And these are key points that we have to be not just in recovery, just in life in general, right? You have to be a decent human being. I think so. I mean, there's a lot of people who are not, but that's who I've become. So let's see here. There's principles of recovery. Um, let's look at a couple of principles of recovery that could be in direct conflict with the main rules. Ask for help. The disease of addiction requires garnering support from others. This may be a sponsor, a counselor, or a life coach, a family member, a pastor, a yoga instructor. The list goes on and on. Key principles: don't do this alone. That's awesome. So, as you see, I'm a recovery coach here at Cap Recovery. So, it talks about getting a pastor, having a sponsor, a family member you have a healthy relationship with to look up to, counselor, therapist, stuff like that. There's things and people that I confide in, right? And I have to ask for help. Sometimes it's on a daily basis, right? Um, but I'm not just taking, right? I'm giving also, right? Now I'm not talking about material stuff, so I'm not just like asking for help and not doing anything in return, right? I'm not a taker today, I'm a giver, you know. So asking for help is very important. Share your emotions and thoughts and feelings. Our ability to understand the source of addiction lies in our knowledge of our internal workings. We must feel comfortable going inside ourselves and sharing those internal concepts with others. Yep, sharing our emotions, thoughts, and feelings. Especially in recovery, like something, if you would share your emotions, thoughts, and feelings with people not in recovery and that don't have an understanding of a disease of addiction and people's past, they would think you're probably crazy, right? So that's why I have a sponsor. That's why I have a network of people, and my coworkers. They know me. I built relationships with them. They're in recovery also, and people outside of recovery that I built relationships with that don't judge me, right? To like say, well, I don't understand, but they're still there for support. I can still express myself, right? So that's just, I mean, I couldn't ask for anything else. Let's see here. Gaining spiritual understanding of the world, giving yourself permission to rely on others bigger than us provides a security and safety. We don't have to be the solo powerful Lone Ranger. Learn to let it go. We will have to choose whether being sober is more important than following the rules that we have adopted or taken on about being a man. We have to choose. We have a choice. And yeah, it's we have to it talks about learn to let go. Um, I had to let go of, my life, really, because drugs and alcohol and who I become in addiction, in active addiction, I was somebody that I wasn't, just what the drugs and alcohol morphed me to be, right? So I had to change everything. I had to come to a point to let go people, places, and things and begin to change. If I wanted something better, I wanted something different, and if I wanted to stay so clean and sober and live a decent life, I had to let go, right? I had to surrender. I had to accept that what I've done, what I've been through, and what other people said or done to me, I had to let go, And if I didn't, I would have kept my emotions and feelings, my pride and ego getting in the way, and I would keep on doing what I've been doing, or even dead. So it's learn to let go. And the conclusion, growing up male, right? So this is conclusion. From the moment we were born, people started treating us differently than they treated girls. See, what I said earlier is we're in a set of a category as this is like I said, my thoughts. We're set in a category as soon as we're born, right? Societies have ideas about what manhood is and they treat boys accordingly. We develop our self images in part of by learning from other men and women how we are supposed to be. At some point, we decided that were our rules about being a man. We may not even be sure where we got all these rules, but we have been follow them for a long time and have had influences on our lives. It is important at this point to examine our rules and decide whether they are true and help to us to be what we want to be. Enjoy the exploration, enjoy the true recovery. I like it. This is a good article. I'm gonna have to keep this one, right? And so this is men adopting a new mindset in recovery. And yeah, we have to learn to let go and we have to change. We have to change, we have to grow, and it's a process. Um, I would do a little bit, some bumps in the road, I would run, I would give up. I would fail, like we talk about failing, and I was like, I can't do this. But I put limitations on myself. I had a negative mindset. Um, my thoughts of me, the world, the person who I was, who I can't be. But there's a lot of things, a lot of factors, and that's what my mindset was, and that's what kept me from becoming my own man and to begin to be in recovery. So I was my own worst enemy, as you say. Um, like I said, that was our men in training meeting for the day. This month is Suicide Prevention Month and Recovery Month. Until next time, we'll see you later.